Hello there, it's Darren Chaplin from Cornwall Rural Community Charity. I'm the mental health lead with the charity, and I've been producing some videos over the last few weeks, which I'm hoping that people are finding useful. If you haven't seen previous videos, I've released about a dozen or so far, so go back and have a look at some of the other ones. They're all full of hints, very specific hints and tips with regards to things and steps people can take to improve their lives or how they're feeling or their mood or whatever through the lockdown. Some people are struggling, some people are enjoying the lockdown. I've spoken to a few people who have said they've actually found it quite nice to spend time with their family at home. Other people are becoming quite anxious and becoming quite concerned about the current situation within the country. So however you're coping with it, let me know in the comments below. Let me know how you're getting on. And this particular short video is about keeping in touch during the lockdown and the importance of keeping in touch and trying to stay in touch with people that you would normally be in touch with. I've done a previous video regarding routine and habits and how it's useful to try and keep in a similar routine to what you would normally do, whether you're working from home, whether you've been furloughed, whatever. It's good to try and keep into a routine that you will that will enable you to be able to get back to some form of normality at the end of all this. This one is about keeping in touch with people, and what I would say is try and keep in touch with the people that you are normally in touch with. If there are people in your office that you usually see on a daily basis, then try and keep in touch with them, whether it's via email, whether it's via text, whether it's by telephone, whether it's via FaceTime, so you actually get to see them. Try and keep in touch with them, because that would be your normal life, and it's going to make things a bit harder when you go back if you haven't seen these people for a couple of months. It could cause problems and cause anxiety when you return to your place of work. The same goes about friends and family. If there are people that you would normally see and normally spend time with, then please try and keep in touch with them and try and keep that relationship going, so that you don't have issues along the way when we remove the lockdown. There are many social apps available nowadays. We live in a connected age. We're lucky that the internet has been invented and that we've all got mobile phones that we can talk to people with, or use computers or some other way of communicating. What I would say is that there's been a massive increase in the use of things like Zoom, Skype, etc., as ways of people seeing each other virtually, who they can't see in person. And to us as social animals, we find it important or helpful to how we feel and our mood and how we see ourselves, to be in contact with other people. Whether we see ourselves as quite an antisocial person who doesn't like being around people, actually it's been proven that there are benefits to having human contact. And the only way that we can do this at the moment, for some of us who live alone or aren't able to get out due to shielding or whatever, the best ways of doing that is to actually use some sort of app or Skype or something to actually see people and talk to people. A lot of our communication isn't through the words that we say, it's through our facial expressions and our movements and our gestures, and there's a lot of communication that goes on that isn't just somebody talking all the words that they say. So if you can, try and use some of the apps and some of the technology that's available to us to actually see people when you're talking to them. There are other things available to us, some very age-old technology, such as writing a letter. I've spoken to a few people now who have taken up the habit of writing to people each week, writing to family members, sending them a letter, printing off some pictures off their phone and sticking them in the letter, all those kind of things, just to kind of keep in touch. And it may be that you've got members of your family who aren't very able with technology, and this could be a perfect way of keeping in touch with them, sending them something nice to look forward to, a letter once a week falling on their doormat, and them opening it and seeing that it's from you, and there's some pictures in there and lots of information about what you've been doing, how life's going, how you're feeling, etc. And it's a really nice gesture. The process of actually writing a letter can be quite therapeutic in itself. It's not something we regularly do now. We rarely handwrite letters, and most of us will either pick up a phone or send a text or an email when we're trying to get in touch with family members. There's also things such as virtual events. I was involved in a quiz a couple of weeks ago with some friends. Some friends organised it. There were friends on the call of theirs who I didn't know, but it was nice to see other people, nice to get involved with something, and a virtual quiz is a way of doing that. I know there's a lot of pubs who aren't open at the moment who are doing virtual quizzes online. There was a guy on the news last night who was talking about an online quiz where he talks to a massive amount of people, and lots of celebrities have got involved with it. I can't remember how many it was, but there were a lot of people involved, and it went out and was being seen and being logged on to all around the world by people. So yeah, there's lots going on. There's ways of being creative and innovative in this time. I've got a friend who has online meals with people. Him and his partner invite a couple of couples to join them for a themed meal. It might be that they have an Italian meal, or they might be having a Chinese meal, or they decide what kind of meal they're having. They have a theme. They get together online through Zoom, and they talk to each other as though they're all sat at the same table. So there are innovative and creative ways of doing things, and the lockdown shouldn't stop us from still enjoying ourselves, still being social, and still talking to people and keeping in touch with those who we want to keep in touch with. Whatever you're doing today, stay safe, look after yourselves, enjoy yourselves, reach out to somebody, get in touch with somebody. Let me know in the comments below what you see as important, and if there's anything that you'd like me to do a video about. And stay safe, and don't forget to wash your hands.